Good evening. We are live. So we are live. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. All right. So let's quickly get other people to join us. So we are waiting for people to join this live session and we will begin. Èmi bọ́lá fún ọ, Jésù. Èmi mi fògo fún ọ, Jésù. Ayé mi. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Hi, good evening. Welcome. Can you get my IG? Yes. Mildred Ajasa. Welcome to tonight's live session. Thank you. Please tell me where you are joining from. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's session. Ooh. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's session. You can just tell us where you are joining from Lagos, from Abuja, from Canada, from Kenya, from UK, from Port Harcourt. Just tell us where you are joining from. Good evening. Welcome. So tonight's session is real questions, real answers. Yeah, real questions, real answers. We are going to be touching deep questions. I'm going to be answering every of your questions on this live stream. So get ready to get those questions answered tonight. And call your friends, call your loved ones to be a part of tonight's meeting. I'm going to be answering questions related to relationships, career, purpose, navigating life seasons. So call them, let them join this live stream. I have a few questions, and then after which I would um I would open up the floor for you to ask your questions. Good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining tonight's live session, and we'll be starting shortly. We just want a few persons to join us and we will begin. Okay, so thank you for joining, and we hope that before the end of this session, quite a few people would join us. All right, so this is LifeThreads with Mildred Ajasa, and um, we are a safe community, a safe and nurturing space where we grow into who we are truly meant to be. So, LifeThreads is a safe and nurturing space where we grow into who we are truly meant to be. One conversation, one truth, one season at a time. So, if you're new here, joining us for the first time, I'd like you to know what this community is about. So Life Threads again is a safe and nurturing space where we grow into who we are truly meant to be. One conversation, one truth, one season at a time. So here we explore identity and self-awareness. We explore purpose. We talk about navigating life seasons. We talk about faith and spiritual growth. We talk about relationships. We also talk about personal and professional development. So, through our monthly teachings, reflections, we are becoming a whole, we are becoming whole and valuable to our society. So, if you're joining us for the first time, this is who we are, and we hope you be part of our community. So, we meet every month, and this October edition has been tagged Let's Talk Life. Yes, Let's Talk Life. Your questions, real answers. So tonight, we're going to be having an open and honest conversation where you set the direction. Yes, it's an open and honest conversation. So you have questions about purpose, questions about identity, questions about relationships, questions about growth, questions about navigating your current season. We are going to be answering those questions tonight. So I don't know what your question is. I don't know the challenge you're going through right now that you need answers to. Tonight, I'm going to be answering those questions. So I have a few questions here that I will start with, and then after which I would open up the um, floor for each and every one of us to ask our own questions if we have any. So you can always use the chat box, drop your questions if you have any questions. All right, so let's begin. Let's start with the first question. The first question is, how do I know what season of life I am currently in? Mrs. Mildred, good evening. How do I know? My question is, how do I know what season of life I am currently in. Now, my answer to this question is this: pay attention to what God is teaching you and requiring of you. Pay attention to what God is teaching you and requiring of you. And that's because every season comes with its rhythm. Yeah, every season comes with its rhythm. Sometimes clean, sometimes it's planting, sometimes it's waiting. Just look at what's growing, what's being tested, and what God keeps highlighting. That's often a clue to where you are. So, how do I know what season of life I'm currently in? Pay attention to what God is teaching you and requiring of you. First, you need to understand the rhythm of your season. Am I in a pruning season? Am I in waiting season? Am I in a planting season? What season exactly? What exactly is God trying to show me? What exactly is God trying to teach me in this season of my life? So when you're able to pay attention to what God is teaching you and requiring of you, you will have a good knowledge of the season of life you are in currently. I hope this answer, helps this person that asked this question. Now, the next question I'm going to be reading, answering here tonight is: Mrs. Mildred, please, what do I do when I feel stuck and nothing seems to be working? I'll take that question again. What do I do when I feel stuck and nothing seems to be working? Now, this is my answer to this person. Feeling stuck is not always a sign of failure. Sometimes it is God slowing you down so you can gain clarity. So, what I would advise you do is take a pause, pray for direction, and check if you are still aligned with His last instruction. Movement without direction is just noise. So, if you're moving and you don't have direction, you're not being led, what you're simply doing is making noise, right? So you need to take a pause, pray for direction, and check if you are still aligned with His last instruction for you. That way you won't have this feeling of being stuck and nothing seems to be working, right? So feeling stuck is not always a sign of failure. Sometimes it is God slowing you down so you can gain clarity. Now let's move to the next question. How do I stay consistent in my purpose despite distractions or slow progress? How do I stay consistent in my purpose despite distractions or slow progress? So now this person wants to know how he can stay consistent in his purpose despite distractions or slow progress. Now, this is my answer to this question. Consistency flows from conviction. Consistency flows from conviction. So when you are truly convinced about your why, when you're truly convinced about your why, you will find the strength to keep showing up even when it is not glamorous. Purpose isn't about speed, it is about faithfulness. Purpose isn't about speed, it is about faithfulness. So you need to be convicted. You need to have this conviction about what exactly you are doing. Have a clear conviction about your purpose. Consistency, again, I said, flows from conviction. So if you have this strong conviction about your purpose, you'll be able to stay consistent. So when you are truly convinced about your why, you will find the strength to keep showing up even when it is not glamorous. So that's my answer to this question. Be convinced. Be convinced. Yes. So the next question is: Is it possible to find peace while waiting for God's promises to manifest? I love this question. Is it possible to find peace while waiting for God's promises to manifest? My answer to this question is yes. So, peace comes when you trust the one who made the promise more than when it will happen. Peace comes when you trust who made the promise more than when it will happen. So, not focused on when the promise will happen, when God's promise will happen. Now, for example, you are married and you're waiting on the Lord for your baby. Now, God has promised you that you are going to be a mother of children. So, if you want to have peace, you want to enjoy peace while waiting on God, the secret is for you to trust the person, which is God, who made the promise more than when it will happen. So, when you trust God, you know He cannot fail. You know He will never fail. So, when you trust God, the promise giver, maker, you will be able to enjoy peace. So waiting is easier when you stop counting the days and start counting His faithfulness. Waiting, I'll say that again, is easier when you stop counting the days and you start counting His faithfulness. You know God is faithful. So stop counting, oh, this year, oh, next 2 years, oh, 2026, oh, 2027. No, rather start counting His faithfulness. When you begin to count His faithfulness, you enjoy peace. So I hope this person is satisfied with this answer. So my next question here is, how do I balance being patient in my process while still taking action? How do I balance being patient in my process while still taking action? Now, this is my answer to this question. Patience doesn't mean passivity. Patience doesn't mean passivity. Do what you can with what you have. Do what you can with what you have, where you are rather, and let God handle what is beyond your reach. Patience does not mean passivity. Do what you can with what you have, where you are, and let God handle what is beyond your reach. Preparation is a form of action. Preparation is a form of action. So that's my answer to this person's question. How do you balance being patient in your process while still taking action? Preparation is a form of action. Because you are waiting does not mean you will not do anything. Because you are waiting does not mean you will not take actions. So do what you can with what you have, where you are, and let God handle what is beyond your reach. Now, the next question. What should I do when I feel like everyone around me is moving ahead and I'm not? Wow. What should I do when I feel like everyone around me is moving ahead and I'm not? This is my answer to this question. Comparison blinds gratitude. Comparison, it blinds gratitude. Remember that your journey is tailored. Your journey it is tailored, not delayed. So while you are admiring other people's fruits, God might still be working on your roots. So trust your timeline. That's the perfect answer I'll give to this person's question. Comparison, it blinds gratitude. So always remember that your journey is tailored. It is not delayed. It is tailored. So while you are admiring other people's fruit, other people's progress, God might still be working on your roots. So what you need to do is trust your timeline. All right, the next question. If you have questions, you can start dropping them now on the comments section or the chat box. So I will attend to them after answering these questions. Now, this person is asking, how can I rebuild my confidence after a setback or failure? How can I rebuild my confidence after a setback or failure? Now, here's my answer. Start by forgiving yourself. You failed. You experienced setback. Start by forgiving yourself. Start by forgiving yourself. Then look at failure as feedback. Look at failure as feedback. Then you ask this question. This experience, this failure, this setback that just happened, what lesson did I get from it? What did this experience right now, what did it teach me? Every fall can refine you. Every fall can refine you if you let it. Every fall can refine you if you let it. So confidence grows again when you remember who you are and whose you are. Confidence grows again when you remember who you are and whose you are. So yes, you have experienced failure. Yes, you started that business and it failed. You started that relationship and it failed. You started that vision and it failed. Remember that you can actually get refined through that failure. So see those failure or those setback as feedback and then ask yourself, what did this teach me? What did this experience, this setback, what did it teach me? So if you can begin to get answers, know, okay, this is where this is where I got it wrong. This is what I think I need to learn. Your confidence will begin to grow again so you can push again. So confidence grows again when you remember who you are. You know you are not a failure. I don't have a failure in my DNA. There is no failure. I am from God, the one who there is no failure in him. So having this understanding helps you grow your confidence for you to rise up again and begin to push, right? So that's my answer to this person's question. Quickly, let's move to the next question. How do I handle relationship that no longer align with my current season? How do I handle relationships that no longer align with my current season? Now, one thing I've learned is that some connections are seasonal, and that's okay. Some relationships are seasonal, and that is okay. So some people come into your life for a purpose, for a season, for a time period. And once that time is over, they would leave, they would go. So because they left should not make you begin to feel like, oh, this person did you bad, or blah, blah, blah. No. Some connections are seasonal and that's okay. So don't hold on out of guilt or history. No. Do not hold on out of guilt or history. Release people in love and allow space for new alignment that fits where God is taking you. Release people in love. When that person's season, that person's the time the person is supposed to be in your life is over, release them with love. Release them in love and allow space for alignment that fits where God is taking you. So for every new season you enter, you will need new relationships, you will need new people, right? So don't hold on to history. Oh, I've had this with this person, and that this person has been with me for blah 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 blah, and then because of that, you now hold on to that relationship and you start having issues. No, don't do that. Release people in love and open up yourself to new alignment that fits where God is taking you. I hope this answer is clear to this person. Now, the next question: how do I know if I am truly walking in God's will for my life? How do I know if I am truly walking in God's will for my life? How do I know if I am truly walking in God's will for my life? So this person wants to know how um how this person wants to know if when oh I'm truly walking in God's if I'm truly walking in God's will for my life. Now, when your choices birth peace, when your choices when they begin to birth peace, align with God's word and draw you closer to Him, you're on track. When your choices birth peace, when they align you with God's word and draw you closer to Him, you are on track. God's will isn't always loud. Sometimes it is a quiet knowing in your spirit. So, for you to know that you are walking in God's will for your life, when you begin to see that your choices they birth peace, they align you with God's word, and they draw you closer to God, you are definitely on track. It might not be loud all the time. It might not be loud all the time because sometimes it is a quiet knowing. When you have a quiet knowing in your spirit, it might not be, oh, my son, my daughter, you are walking in my will for your life. It might not come like that. It might not be like that. So sometimes it can be a quiet knowing in your spirit that, oh, you feel this peace inside of you. You know, yes, I am walking in alignment with God's will for my life. So when your choices birth peace, they align you with His word and draw you closer to Him, then you are truly walking in God's will for your life. And now to the final question before I begin to attend to your questions, those that are watching me right now. What role does faith play when life doesn't make sense? I love this question. What role does faith play when life doesn't make sense? Hmm. Well, this is my answer to this person's question. Faith fills the gaps between what you see and what God has said. Faith, it fills the gaps between what you see and what God has said. So it is trusting that even in confusion, God is still in control. You don't have to understand everything, really. You do not have to understand everything. Just believe enough to keep walking. Believe enough to keep working. So when life doesn't make sense, when right now the life I'm living is like I don't even know, it doesn't make any sense, blah blah blah. God doesn't want you to figure out everything yourself. All it wants you to do is to believe. Now, if you can believe, all things are possible. All things are possible. So just believe enough to keep walking. Know that God is still in control, even in confusion, even when you are confused, even when things don't make sense to you anymore. Know that God is in control. Faith fills the gap between what you see and what God has said. Now, what you see might be different from what God has said, but when you have faith, it will fill that gap and it will help you to keep trusting His word. It will help you to keep believing in Him in order for you to experience what He has said concerning your life. God's word is true. God's word is perfect. So whatever He says concerning your life, even though you can't see it right now, just believe, because eventually it will happen. Eventually everything will begin to make sense. So in the season of confusion, trust God. In the season of waiting, trust God. No matter the season you are in right now, trust God. So, I think I've answered all the questions that was sent. So, if you have questions that you want me to answer tonight, I want you to type them in the chat box and I'll pick them from there. Type them in the chat box. Yes, I'm reading chats. Hi, Apple Tree. Hi. Yes, I am a Christian and I can see your chat. So if you have any questions for me to answer, you can drop it and I will answer. Questions relating to relationship, question relating to purpose, questions relating to personal and professional growth, question relating to life seasons. Yes, so these are the questions I'm answering here tonight. I just hope that the people who asked these questions, they have been able to get answers to their questions. So put them in the chat box, and I would answer them before we round up tonight. Oh no, sorry, I am not Catholic. I am not Catholic. The only questions I would answer in this live stream is questions that are relating to um, questions that are relating to relationships, questions that are related to personal growth, questions that are related to professional growth, navigating life seasons. Okay, so in the absence of no questions, I hope you've gotten, for those who sent in these questions that I've just answered, I hope you have gotten clear answers to these questions, right? So thank you again for joining this live stream. And here we meet every month, once in a month. We come together to learn, We come together to learn and to grow. Like I said Life Threads is a safe and nurturing space that is about your personal growth. And here we explore identity and self awareness. We explore purpose. We explore navigating life seasons. We explore spiritual growth. We explore professional and personal growth, right? So, to meet next month, keep staying strong, keep believing, and I will definitely see you better than the way we met this month. All right. God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful rest. Bye.